As UDA and ODM parties signal fresh talks that could pave the way for coalition ahead of 2027. Questions are mounting over the fate of the 10-point agenda signed between the two parties nearly 1 year ago. The agreement signed on March 7, 2025 was the cornerstone of ODM support for the Kenya Kwanza administration, with implementation set as the ultimate litmus test. But nearly 12 months later, progress appears sluggish, raising concerns of whether the pact is quietly being sidelined. The United Democratic Alliance, however, insists otherwise, maintaining that the framework remains alive and central to its engagement with the Orange Party. Here's our political affairs reporter, Melita Oletenges.
Pen to paper on March 7, 2025. An MOU that set the rules of engagement between ODM and UDA was signed by party leaders, the late former Prime Minister Raila Odinga and President William Ruto. At the time, the document was clear, a roadmap whose full implementation would determine any future political marriage.
That the memorandum we have signed today does not define the formation of a political coalition between ODM and UDA. However, its successful implementation could inform the basis of steps toward the establishment of a broadly constitutive and progressive formation for a stable country in future.
But close to a year later, questions linger over whether that roadmap is being followed or quietly abandoned as coalition talks take center stage. Central to the agreement is the full implementation of the NADCO report, including compensation for victims of past protests, strengthening devolution, curbing the growing national debt, and intensifying the fight against corruption. Yet the 5-member committee tasked with overseeing the implementation of the 10-point agenda has not reported progress, leaving the public in the dark on the status of the MOU 6 months since the appointment of the committee and secretariat to office. With little to show so far, critics argue the agenda risks becoming a political mirage. UDA leaders, however, have come out strongly to defend the pact, insisting it remains the foundation of ongoing talks with ODM, not a casualty of the new direction.
Our engagements with our colleagues and brothers in ODM go beyond the 10-point agenda. As I mentioned, it is our intent to be an all-inclusive party and coalition that brings everybody on board and all Kenyans on board. And therefore, we look forward to working with ODM even into the next elections next year.
That has given us the foundation, the place to start. But we believe that there is more that we can achieve if we build on that particular foundation. Therefore, it is not a separate arrangement. It is building on what already has been achieved on the 10-point agenda alongside other things.
UDA has also moved to reassure its Kenya Kwanza partners that the ODM engagement will not edge them out.
The pacts that we have with our partners within the larger Kenya Kwanza coalition remain intact and very valid. We cannot go to look for new partners and lose the old ones.
Even as coalition talks gather momentum, UDA has announced repeat grassroots elections in select polling centers across 42 counties, following a review by the party's elections board. Melita Oletenges, Citizen TV.